nothing regular, rotten or rusty. Yes, I love trash.
It wouldn't be a bastard review without me reviewing my favorite comic, G.I. Joe. So I'm looking at a few of them. The first one is the first 3 issues of the movie adaptation, The Rise of Cobra. These are written by Denton J. Tipton with art by Casey Maloney. Now, this is a 4-part comic. I haven't gotten part 4, but I've read the first 3 issues, and they really haven't gotten me excited for the movie. The artwork is pretty adequate. There's really nothing spectacular or special here. And I realized that they probably cut some stuff out that was probably in the movie. I mean, it's probably a lot to fill 4 issues with, but everything seems a little too quick. I won't hand out any spoilers in case you want to see the movie. I'm probably going to go see it by myself. None of my friends want to go see it. They think it's probably going to be bad, and I think it's probably going to be bad as well, but I'm a fan of G.I. Joe. What can I say? I have to give this movie at least a chance. I'm just going in with very low expectations. Another issue I'm looking at is the regular series, G.I. Joe number 6. This is written by Chuck Dixon with art by Robert Atkins. I really don't like this comic series as well. It is a reboot from what Devil's Due was doing. IDW now owns the I guess not the copyright, but the rights to reproduce G.I. Joe comics. So they're starting from scratch, and they're reintroducing G.I. Joe and Cobra. I really don't think it's in continuity with the movie. It doesn't seem like it. I just can't get into it. I don't like the way that they're reintroducing everything. And I think they should have just picked up where Devil's Due left off and just ran with it. I think it would have worked a lot better. The last G.I. Joe comic I'm looking at is G.I. Joe Origins number 5. Finally, we get a series that is worth reading. This is written by Larry Hama with art by Mike Hawthorne. Larry Hama is probably the only reason to read this series. He is G.I. Joe in my eyes. He wrote all of the Marvel series, and he had a hand in writing most of the Devil's Due stuff. I really think that if this is a mini-series, I'm assuming that it's only going to go to issue 6. If that's the case, Larry Hama needs to take over the regular series. As much as Chuck Dixon is a decent writer, I think Larry Hama belongs on G.I. Joe, and I think he's the only person that can give the comic series justice. I'm assuming this is a mini-series. I can only imagine there's only so many issues you can do origins about various G.I. Joe members. But so far, I really like this. The artwork is really good. It's cartoony, but I think it works a lot better than the other Joe comics I've been reading. And I really like the way they introduced the pit, which is the base where the Joes reside. I just really like this series. You know, I would say I wish it could go on, but I obviously don't think it's going to. I can really only recommend this if you're a fan of G.I. Joe, and I would only pick up the origin issues. I wouldn't bother with the other 2. They're really not worth your time. Up next is issue 119 of Daredevil. This is part 4 of The Return of the King. This is written by Ed Brubaker with art by Michael Lark and Stefano Guadiano. Hope I said that name right. This is another comic that is steeped in soap opera drama. So if you're not into that kind of thing, if you're more into the non-stop fighting throughout the whole issue, you're probably not going to like this series. This whole arc has centered around the Hand and someone named Lady Bullseye, who they really haven't explained who she is and what her connection to Matt Murdock, Daredevil, is. I will be interested to see what happens and if we ever find out who she is. But anyway, they're out to get Daredevil and ruin Matt Murdock's life. and they kind of orchestrate the return of the Kingpin. A few years ago, the storyline was that the Kingpin had left Hell's Kitchen. I believe his wife had died, if memory serves me. And I think Matt gave him an ultimatum to either leave, or if he stayed, he would be arrested by the FBI, or somebody would arrest him. So he decided to leave. Well, now he's back, and he's seemingly helping out Daredevil. But in this issue, you'll find out that he's helping himself under the guise of helping Matt. Last issue, the drama was that Foggy Nelson, Matt's assistant, partner, I guess caseworker, I think they're partners. Anyway, he fired Matt. Simply because Matt was spending too much time as Daredevil, and he was letting cases go by. You know, they're in the business of making money and helping people out. And I guess Matt's life is too consumed right now by Daredevil and finding out who Lady Bullseye is and why she is after him. It's a good story. We're now in the 4th part, which I think there is 5 parts to the series. It seems like it's a little too drawn out. I think they could have done just 3 or 4 parts of this, and I wouldn't have complained, but it's interesting. It's got me engaged, and I'm ready for the next issue. Honestly, I am waiting for Bullseye, Hawkeye, of the Dark Avengers to find out about Lady Bullseye, because I'm sure he's going to get pissed and come looking for her, and I think it's only a matter of time before that happens. One thing about Daredevil that I'm really intrigued by is that he hasn't been pulled into any of these large crossover events. He wasn't a part of Invasion. I don't think he's been involved in any of the Tony Stark storylines prior to that, and he hasn't been part of Dark Reign at all. So he has been existing in this little bubble of Hell's Kitchen. I'm really surprised that they haven't drawn him into it. I don't know if that's because Ed Brubaker has just gotten Marvel's consent to be this little pocket corner of the universe where the events of the other comics don't impede, but more power to him, I say. I'm actually glad that they haven't even mentioned Dark Reign or the Dark Avengers yet. I recommend picking this up. The only drawback is that you'll have to go pick up some trades to understand what's going on, and you'll probably have to pick up the first 3 or 4 issues of Return of the King. Maybe it's just as well to wait for the trade paperback of this and pick up the next story arc. But yeah, some really good stuff going on here.